channel, Spiritual Growth Canada. This channel is going to help to explore spirituality in depth. घरों में सूक्ष्म आत्माओं की दिनचर्या कैसी होती है? Life of Subtle Souls Part 1. Recap video highlights playing and Bapuji is saying Delhi Celestial Craft Vimans travel between worlds from the Golden Dwarka in Gujarat, particularly the temple at Somnath. Souls engage in penance and then ascend to the Vishnu Lok. These are subtle world souls, being with a body made of the three elements space, air, and fire. After death, they remain in the subtle world here on earth itself, wandering restlessly. This happens because such souls are bound by attachment, desires, and vices. To fulfill their cravings and desires, they sometimes enter another being and satisfy their passions. These souls manifest as a ghost spirits, ghosts, ghost souls, Brahma, Rakshasa, demons, and witches, negative souls who cannot ascend to the higher worlds. Instead, they live on the earth by entering into the people on their homes, causing trouble and spreading sorrows. On the other hand, there are good souls, those devoted to God throughout their lives. Such devotional souls after death continue their bhakti in temples. In subtle world, their devotion becomes even more intense, and there too subtle temples exist, where they worship with their greater force. They gradually ascend, having spiritual experiences, and move towards the sacred places in the Himalayas, such as Amarnath, Kailash, and Mansarovar, where many divine spheres exist. If a soul has knowledge and has destroyed attachment, it can rise to higher realms. Otherwise, at the time of death, devotional souls begin their journey towards liberation. They remain in temples, worshipping God. Since people consider Ram and Krishna as incarnation of Vishnu, the path of devotion aligned with their belief. Meanwhile, wise souls, who are established in Brahmagyan, perceives Ram and Krishna as embodiment of the imperishable, formless, attributeless Brahma. Ultimately, when the great cosmic dissolution, that's a Kalpa Pralay, take place, God and demons alike perish. All heaven and hell's 55 crore rooms are burned into the ashes in the fire of time or Kalagni. Yet souls that are of the supreme element of the supreme light alone survive. Such souls remain in the incorporeal stages. Their subtle bodies will get destroyed, but the soul itself, being of the essence of the supreme light and element, cannot be consumed by the fire of the time. Bapuji greets and explains Param Shanti. Today we will discuss which souls exist in the subtle dimension, where they reside, how they live, and what their daily life is like. Souls of the subtle world are made of the three elements space, air, and fire. By contrast, the human body contains two additional elements, that's water and earth, making it a five-elemental body. After death, subtle world souls remain in the subtle plane of earth itself, endlessly wandering. They cannot ascend higher because they are bound by attachment, desire, and vices. Thus, they remain confined to Bhulok, within the cycle of the earthly and lower heavens, so that is Swarglok, Mahalok, Janlok, Taplok, and Satyalok. Beyond this, there are Brahmapuris, Vishnupuri, Shivpuri, and Paramdham. But such souls cannot reach them unless they have true knowledge and have destroyed their worldly attachments. Otherwise, at the time of death, such souls, driven by the fulfilled cravings, enter into other beings to satisfy their desires or passion. These desire-driven souls are generally called negative souls, such as ghosts, spirits, ghosts, Ram Rakshas, demons, witches. They cannot ascend, so they stay bound to earth, often entering human homes, and these souls engage in mischief, doing harmful deeds, and they cause pain and suffering to people. There are also good souls, devotional souls, who have spent their entire lives in worship. At death, they carry with them the impressions of devotion, which uplift them gradually towards higher realms. These souls continue their worship in earthly temples, and in the subtle world their devotion becomes even more intense. Their prayer radiate more powerfully, and in time they rise towards the liberation. Negative souls fall into degeneration, but devotional souls advance upwards. They remain in temples, engage in worship, and there are also subtle temples where they gather and pray. Gradually, they ascend to the higher planes, being guided to the sacred places, first to Haridwar, then to Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath, and Kedarnath. At these holy mountains, the souls undergo intense austerities. Through this, they are refined. Their subtle bodies become lighter, purer, and more radiant. With purity of mind, the subtle body too becomes purified, and the soul experiences a higher state dominated by the space element. In the Himalayas, places like Amarnath, Kailash, Mansarovar hold many subtle spheres where souls perform penance. In these rooms, elevated souls even share knowledge with others, guiding being in higher dimensions. From the sacred places such as Badrinath, Kedarnath, Kailash, Mansarovar, and Amarnath, celestial crafts depart daily, carrying souls upwards. Many reach Mahaloka, some reach till Swarglok, while others ascend further still to Shivpuri, where the primordial Shiva and primordial Shakti reside. Devotees of Vishnu, especially those connected to Badrinath, are carried to the Vishnupuri and the abode of Lord Vishnu himself. Vimanas or the celestial crafts travel daily between rooms even today, from the Golden Dwarka in Gujarat, particularly the temple at Somnath, souls perform penance and ascend to Vishnulok. This happens because when people worship Ram and Krishna, they consider them to the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Within the path of devotion, some souls acquire higher wisdom and attain Brahmagyan. Such realized souls view Ram and Krishna not merely as incarnation of Vishnu but as the manifestation of the imperishable, formless, attributeless Brahma itself. Thus, within devotion, there are different perspectives. Ultimately, souls ascend to the higher world of the deity whom they worship. For a deeper understanding of the subject, I have explained in detail in my discourses Life After Death Part 1 and Part 2. I have many more videos dedicated to ghosts and spirits, but in today's time, the presence of aliens is also immense. Aliens are not only here on Earth, but also among the higher worlds. They have come from the distant galaxies, universes, greater universes, multiverses, and even beyond. Our cosmos is teeming with them. Because of this, many religions, monasteries, and sects themselves have originated from outside influences. I have explained their origins in detail in my videos, including those on aliens. Even today's artificial intelligence technology has been introduced by aliens. They are behind many of the inventions we see today. In fact, much of modern scientific advancement is being driven by the subtle world aliens. By watching these videos, you will come to understand who is working behind the scenes and how, in the subtle rooms. When Earth Pralay occurs at the end of the complete cycle of four ages, that is Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga, all humans, animals, and beings perish on Earth Their gross physical bodies are destroyed, but they continue to exist in the subtle form, lingering in the earthly dimension. Very few humans remain at that point. When Satyuga begins again, there are only a handful of human souls left in the physical form. At the very start of the Satyug, human presence is almost negligible. Gradually, the souls of humans who died at the end of the Kali Yuga remain in the subtle plane and being to re-manifest. This applies equally to animals, birds, and other creatures. In the earth pralay, their gross bodies perish, but their subtle form remains. As the new Satyug unfolds, they slowly reappear, first in Satyuga, then in Treta, Dwapar, and eventually again in Kali Yuga. Each soul takes birth according to its nature and karmic bondage, assuming human form once more on earth. When a soul becomes highly knowledgeable, connected with self-knowledge and Brahmagyan, then such exalted beings descend on earth. These include Brahmarishis, Maharshis, and other great souls. Even Rajrishis, the royal sages who were once king, come down. For example, King Janak is known as a Rajrishi, and Vishwamitra, who was once a Rajrishi, later became a Brahmarishi. When such exalted souls impart knowledge, many other souls receive wisdom and are uplifted. With their higher knowledge, those souls are able to ascend to the higher worlds, and thus during the cycle of the creation and dissolution, enlightened souls play their role in the guiding others upwards. 71 partial dissolution, that is Ardha Pralayas, take place as the four ages repeat 71 times. After this, a full dissolution occurs on earth. At that time, all souls, whether human, animal, or bird, leave their gross bodies and move into the subtle plane. This period is called Manvantar. One full cycle of ages under the lifespan of Manu, the progenitor of humanity, and span of Manu, the progenitor of humanity, and his consort Shatrupa. When their span ends, a great flood, that is Jal Pralay, engulfs the earth, and all human civilization, animals, and birds perish physically, yet their souls remain in the subtle realm. When the next Manvanta begins, those very souls still present in the subtle plane, reincarnate again as a human in gross form. Thus the cycle of the Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga continues repeatedly. At the end of each Manvantar, there is total destruction, yet soul persists in the subtle form, whether negative or positive. Positive souls incarnate in Satyug, and as the ages progress, more descend. By Dwapar and especially in Kali Yuga, many negative souls manifest. Until their turn comes, they remain confined in the subtle plane. When Kalpapralaya takes place, the dissolution of end of the Brahma's day, Lord Vishnu enters the sun, radiating as 12 suns. He engulfs the three worlds, Bhulok or earth, Bhuvurlok, the intermediate region, and Swarglok or heaven, in the fire of time, that is Kalagni, reducing them to the ashes. Below them the seven underworlds, that is Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, and Patal, they where Damonas and Asuras resides, are also destroyed. The gods who dwell above in Swargloka also perish. In this fire of time, both gods and demons, humans and being alike, are consumed. The heat is so fierce that even the earth itself is reduced to ashes. Nothing remains. All 55 crores rooms, heaven and hells, are burnt away. Yet souls of the highest order, those of the supreme element or the supreme light, alone endure. The subtle body does not survive. It too is destroyed in the fire element. only the souls remain existing in the incorporeal stage. The fire of the time cannot consume the supreme element or supreme light, and thus such souls are preserved bodiless in their eternal incorporeal state. Souls who have attained knowledge realize what is to come and ascend before the fire of time arrives. Before Kalpapralaya consumes everything, such knowledgeable or jnani souls rise to Mahaloka or higher rooms, carrying their subtle bodies with them. There, their subtle forms continues to exist. When Kalpapralaya occurs, marking the end of one full day of Brahma, the world dissolves. But when the cycle begins anew, Lord Vishnu sends down rain upon Mother Earth to reduce the fire element. Through this divine rainfall, the earth reforms. Brahma then sends Mother Earth from above to recreate the land and oceans, and slowly all things take place once again. The souls who had remained in the subtle dimensions return to reincarnate on earth as humans. Likewise, the souls of animals and birds also return, descending in their purest Satopradhan state. Satopradhan state. Thus, Satopradhan souls enter first, and gradually souls from all three worlds descends to earth. Heaven and hell are also recreated. And so, within one day of Brahma, the cycle of Kalpralay unfolds, encompassing 1,000 cycles of 4 ages and 14 manvantaras. Souls that ascend to Mahalok remains in the subtle room there. With higher knowledge, they rise further into the 7 higher planes. Devotional souls reach Vishnupuri or Shivpuri, where they continue worshipping their chosen deities with intense devotion. But when the great cosmic dissolution, or that is Mahakalpa Pralay, arise, all souls of the universe return to the Nirgun Nirakar Brahma. This is the formless, attributeless Brahma. The one who created the universe absorbs it back into himself, entering the cosmic sun. He produces the fire of time, that is Kal-Agni, which burns the entire Brahman to ashes. All beings, whether corporeal or subtle, are consumed. Their very existence ceases. Only the most powerful souls, greater than the Brahmand itself, escape and return to other galaxies or universes from which they originally came. And the final dissolution, that is a Mahakal Pralay, Mahashiv as a Mahakal absorb countless solar systems into his very being. At this stage, not only do the solar system vanish, but even the creator of solar system cease to exist separately. The Nirgun Nirakar Brahma merges into the Mahabrahma, and Mahabrahma dissolves into the Supreme or Param Mahabrahma, the incorporeal Mahashiv. Since all are his creation, everything gradually merges back into him. Thus, the galaxies, universes, great universes, and multiverses are all subject to endless cycles of creation and dissolution. Thus, I have explained about the souls of the subtle world. Now, in today's time, I have also shared in my video Today's Multiverse what actually exists now. In our Brahman, beings have come from faraway rooms into the higher worlds. They have created their own subtle spheres and traveled from the distant galaxies, universes, greater universes, multiverses, and even great multiverses. Our solar system and even the subtle dimensions of Earth itself is full of such presence. Aliens have established their crafts and subtle worlds above the earth. They have come from extremely distant regions, and now everything here is filled with them. Even Bhulok, the earthly room, is densely populated with such beings. The higher rooms too, subtle Bhulok, Bhuvarlok, Mahalok, Janlok, Taplok, Satlok, Brahmapuri, Vishnupuri, Shivpuri, and even Paramdham are filled with these alien souls. They have brought their crafts from outside, and our galaxy itself is now more than half filled with them. They have all come for a specific purposes. The details of why so many aliens have entered our universe are explained fully in my video. Here I have only given a brief outline. For deeper knowledge, one should listen to my discourse on Mahakal Pralay, where everything has been explained in detail. Param Shanti, think and speak of the infinite Param Shanti, Param Shanti.